traveler.
No time for games.
The end is coming! Who am I?
Change your mind.
You require my assistance? A deal! We're gonna be rich!
Hello and welcome back, everybody, to Tavern Talk. We are back with the new format, slight adjustments, and still working out some kinks, but we hope that you enjoyed it so far. I am joined tonight by DeSharmo, as always, and two special guests tonight. I have Bill Snyder / Corbin and Ron Mexico below me. Say hi, everybody. How's everybody feeling?
Hey.
Guys?
Thanks for having us on.
Feeling great.
Yeah, no, super excited. Dano couldn't make it, unfortunately, so those awesome sound effects we had last week, they're going to come back. We'll do our best to make something happen tonight, but, in the future, we will have some more sound effects and things for different segments, so look forward to that. But tonight, we are, you guys ready to jump in?
Absolutely.
I'm
ready.
All right, let's do it. So let's jump straight into our hat stats. This is one of our new segments. Something that people seem to like last week. A lot, this is all open access. Everyone can see these stats. They're on the THL website under Legacy, or actually all of the different series will have stats like this. But I thought it was something interesting to talk about here. So let's jump right to that stats page. Are we there? The stream is a little laggy. There we go. So. I decided to, I thought it'd be interesting to look at week 3 versus week 4. You can see, the meta is shifting. Each week for, I guess, one more week. So next week, I think, is the last one. But we've been getting new cards every single week. And, it's definitely had some interesting effects on the meta here at THL. Just looking at this, what do you guys think? Just to talk about first the lineups here.
I mean, no surprise. Hunter, Rogue, Warlock, Warrior. It's been popular for a while.
Yep.
I think that in lineup 3, and then Druid. You saw the Embiggen Druid come out and for lineup 4 for week 4.
Yeah.
Kind of replaced that Warrior deck, which is kind of falling out of favor there. With the Druid and all them big taunts, the Warrior really can't really get through them. So Druid sort of took that place with the Warrior, and really no surprise.
Yeah, I mean, we can even see that the most popular lineup for week 3 with a really great win rate, 62%, over 24 different, games or matches, I believe. And then you see that same lineup go down to 8 brings and then have a terrible win-loss. with the 3-5, going down to 37.5%. I guess I sound like a robot according to Icicles. Icicles.
Yeah, it's not you. It's the stream some way.
Okay, well, sorry about that, everybody. Watching out there. We'll try to get that fixed as soon as possible. But while we're doing that, hopefully it's not too bad. You guys can tolerate a little bit of robot voice. I can't hear it myself, so it's audible. Okay. But yeah, I mean, any thoughts here, Corbin, Ron, on these lineups here and the trends that we've been seeing?
I think it's pretty interesting just to see how much Druid has been on the rise. Like ever since that week one of the adventure came out, and they started with the untargetable 6/8 taunt. That thing is a monster, and it just really enabled him big in Druid. Now we're just seeing it all over the place lately. I think it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and the pre-existing idea of putting taunts in the way for warrior, so they couldn't use their invokes to push damage early, uh, was kind of brought in by priest, right? Resurrect priest kind of brought in this idea of putting all these taunts in the way and making it impossible for the warrior to actually be able to push damage. And then Druid came in and said, "I'm basically gonna do that better than priest." And I'm going to do it at a larger frequency and more efficiently. And you've really seen the win rate of Warrior in particular suffer because of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, absolutely. But yeah, these are just the stats from last week. Let's take a quick look before we jump to the next segment at the total brings here. These are throughout the entire season so far. These are how many games each class has played. And despite the frequency here, with Druid skyrocketing from last week, you can see it's still got an incredible win rate. So the game count is much lower than you'd expect, just because it's winning the games that it's playing, and also its ban rate has gone up quite a bit. And I think Warrior kind of stabilized a little bit as well. But yeah, there's definitely some interesting stats. I like kind of looking at these a little bit before we jump into the matches. Give us some sort of scope and framework on maybe why things went a certain way beyond just players, ability and RNG and things like that. So yeah, any thoughts on the bottom statistics there?
One thing I was thinking about that I noticed is that Hunter total bans is way more than the rest. And when I think about the meta right now, the things that currently have kind of scared me the most for a while have been Rogue. And lately, Druid being on the rise felt like it might be a good one to ban. But now, I mean, just the stats say everyone's really worried about Hunter, the different archetypes you can have, the different ways they can target you, and the community is really kind of voicing that, hey, this is the class that we need to be the most worried about.
The mage is super fascinating to me. If you look at the mage win rate, you'd think it would be higher just because of some of the amazing tools that mage does have available to it. It even got a little bit of a boost in the adventure with the elemental that summons a copy of itself, the 7/6. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head, but it has all these unique tools that I would be led to believe would be good in the meta, and its win rate just does not reflect that.
Yeah, so I think personally, my opinion on stuff like that is in THL with the special format that we use, it's Conquest, but it's closed deck list. Classes like Mage, which don't have too much flexibility, can be bullied a little bit in this format, just because you know what your opponent's going to bring for the most part. Yeah, you might not know all 30 cards, but you can guess pretty well at least 25 of them, let's say, for Highlander Mage in this case. And the same goes for I guess Priest is also one that you see the win rates pretty low. I've had some success with it, and I think it does have potential. But again, it's one that really has one major archetype right now. There are people playing combo Priest, things like that, but to less success. So when you expect a specific archetype, it's a lot easier to answer it. in my opinion. But yeah, that's the stats. Let's jump right into the next segment. And we're gonna go into the last week review. So for those of you that didn't weren't here last week with the new format, how we're doing this now is we are gonna cover every single match, but one of the hosts of the night is gonna be in charge of each match, and then everyone else will kind of just jump in with their thoughts afterwards. So without further ado, to start, we're gonna go to the first match of the Gold Conference from last week. It is Dad Legend versus Wet Woman, and I'm throwing you right in here, Ron. You are going first.
So thanks very much for giving me this match, especially because this is really interesting. Not only is this the second tie that Dad Legend has had this season, through some weird fluke, Dad Legend and Wet Woman were both undefeated coming into this match, and both of them walk away still undefeated. Just really interesting, a hotly contested match. Every game pretty much went down to the wire. It's almost across the board 3-2s, with the exception of Liquid Oxen, the 1 seed, who is just having an absolutely unbelievable season right now. I don't even think he's lost a single game. He's just destroying everyone he comes across. So, no shame to Icer there for having to step in as a sub and play against one of the hottest players in THL at the moment. The rest of the team on both sides, I thought, really represented themselves well. And it just, what an incredible match. The one at the bottom was the one that also kind of interested me the most. Turd Herder versus Quirky Turtle. I wish I could see a replay of that match because those are two very strong 5 seed players, and I'm real happy to see Quirky Turtle walk away with her first win of the season.
Yeah, I can actually give you a little bit of insight there. So that match, actually, Turd was up 2-0, and then had his rogue swept. For
Oh,
people
wow.
out there playing
Yeah,
against
wow.
Turd, yeah, one of the most powerful decks currently in the meta, people's favorite decks, often one that's banned quite often. We did see earlier that it's not as often as maybe we think in the format, but it still is the deck that I think people are favoring, and it was the one that was unable to get there. And actually, the same situation happened in the 2 seed, but reverse for Dragon Rider. So both teams had their rogue swept on one occasion during this matchup. So that was pretty cool, I thought. And then what else? Yeah, I mean, Wet Women are a great team. I'm not upset about tying them. I think we're definitely going to see them again in the playoffs, and hopefully it doesn't end the same way. Because I guess if it does end the same way, I think in playoffs we would win, so maybe that's fine. But definitely we'll see what happens there. And then another thing I wanted to bring up, just because this was the match that Turd talked about, and he's not here tonight. His prediction, just as a review from last week for people that didn't watch, he predicted Icer to win, Dragon Rider to win. Yell Dart's match was already done during the show. He picked Corbin to win, Bill Snyder, and Quirky to win. So actually, I think he got the bottom 3 right and the top 2 wrong, but still pretty good prediction there.
One thing
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, one thing I want to point out is man, Dad Legend, you guys really were set on Priest. You look at a lot of the other teams, and you see one, maybe 2 priests, but you guys must really like the priest this week.
So yeah, it definitely felt right into what we expected their lineups to be in, and I think we got it right overall. And I felt pretty good about my priest. Actually, I mean, it just saw 3 bans, so actually only one person ended up playing priest, and that was Turd in the end. But it is a deck that I think is very polarizing in people not wanting to play against it. So it does, draw bans sometimes, lets you kind of get your rogue through or your druid through. Or if it does get through, it does well into some of the potential options and limits your opponent to, certain archetypes.
Well, I mean, people don't bring it a lot, but combo priest is still a thing.
Yeah.
And, it's always a viability. So even though people always almost assume it's quest res or resurrect priest, you could always just be the combo version.
Absolutely.
And another thing to bring up that's really interesting about that point is both priest archetypes right now are very polarizingly different.
Yep.
One doesn't play a card till turn 5, and the other one, they want to get their clerics out on one. They really want to kind of curve on you and play some spells and get a big dude and kill you. Where the other guy, they just kind of sit around, heal their face a little bit, drop a minion on 5. So, when you're going in a closed deck format, you could hit, how you mulligan at that point could define the game. And it's extraordinarily difficult because you don't know what you're playing against.
So another thing I want to point out is Bill Snyder in the 4-seed, WTF, mate.
It's the new DeSharmo in the 4 meme.
Yeah, I know, right? Every season we got a DeSharmo 4-seed going on here. So
someone's got to, you moved up to the 3s, and someone's got to keep it up. Although you're doing great in the 3 too, so can't. I mean, that's a little spoiler for a later match, but yeah. So if we don't have any more comments, let's jump to match 2 of the Gold Conference from last week. It is 4th and Inches versus the Pod People. DeSharmo, take it away.
So my turn upset of the week was I was going to beat Rage Doppel, and that did not come to fruition. But I was close. It was close. It was a 3. In fact, something that I want to point out is every person in this match every match went 3-2. Every single one of them. So even though 4th and Inches won by 6 points, it was a very close match, and probably 1 game, 2 games away from the Pod People taking this. So I'd like to point out 12 points in a loss. That's very good. Yeah. I mean, you get wins at 14. So they were very close to securing a lot of points for their week. And this, I think they're still in 4th place. So even though they're 1 and 3, they're still in 4th place, which means that even though Pod People are losing, they're losing by a little bit, and they're getting points in the process. And that's something that I think it's overlooked, is the record doesn't really mean much. It's the amount of points you get per week. And so both of these teams picked up a ton of points going forward and are both in a pretty good position. I'd also like to point out that 4th and Inches, they have 3 and 1 players. Itachi, Ron, and Rage doing really good. Not a single person on 4th and Inches is in the negative, with the only one, Super Marlock, being a 50% win rate. And their PR is at 1,845. So that means they're winning more than they're losing, and it's the second highest PR in the Legacy right now, only behind the Good Luck Albatross. So they're doing really well, and I'm excited to see how both of these teams kind of do later on in the season. May see both of these teams in the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. I do want to point out, though, that the standings are a little deceptive right now, just because some teams have had bye weeks and some haven't yet. So one of the teams that's currently technically in 5th by 1 point, Wet Woman, is 1 point behind, but has played 1 fewer match than both Pod People and Asa Dude. So that is worth mentioning. They're probably closer. They are on the cusp of being in the playoff team. Them and Asa Dude both tied with the same amount of matches played. So it is still a very tight race, and I mean we're like halfway through the season now. About, I think after this week it's halfway.
Yes.
Or something like that. So yeah, so still plenty of weeks. But yeah, a tight race here. Anyone else have thoughts on this match?
Just a quick comment. I had to play against Zeroshio in this match, and his classes were a bit surprising, but he really brought some spicy stuff. So look out for him as a player. I don't want to give away any of his strategies or anything, but he is a force to be reckoned with. And definitely, I felt like I was just on my back heel the entire set of games. He's an incredible player.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. All right.
I love Zeroshio.
Yeah,
go Zeroshio. I picked you to win this week, Ron, and Zeroshio was mad at me for picking you to win, and I should have picked Zeroshio to win.
You gave him the right motivation there, and he just showed up and beat me down.
So you're welcome, Zeroshio. Whenever you watch this, you're welcome.
Awesome. Yeah. So hopefully you're watching Zeroshio. You got your compliments this week. Maybe next week we'll put you down again. So we'll keep giving you that roller coaster experience. That's what we like to do here on Tavern Talk. As for this match, anyone else? Any last comments before we jump to match 3? Great. Okay, so match 3 of the Gold Conference from last week is Asadude versus the Galacrones. This one is my pleasure to discuss. My prediction last week was really bad, completely wrong, pretty much. We had one of the matches with Sanguine, had already won 3-0. Pretty crazy. She's just been on a tear. Pretty sure at least 2, maybe 3 of her wins are 3-0s, and her loss was to the aforementioned Sorosio, I believe. So a really, really great player. And then on the rest of their team, I mean, we have Icon and Shiny Pants kind of still holding it down, trying to find their groove and starting to get there. We see the 2 wins there last week in the matchup. That's pretty important for them. I think the Galacrones are a great team, so getting a win there is really big for Sadude. And Medusas and Snake not having their best season, but hopefully they can turn it around. And on the other side, I mean, their team looks super solid. Pretty much like meant to win the bottom 3 seeds, and maybe win the 1 and the 2. Unfortunately, they just did not do it this week. I know, their big trio, their power trio there with Mako, Booze, and Sage in the 2-3-4. Probably going to be switching around a lot if they have these wins and losses, but I do think they'll find their groove. I mean, they had actually before this they were undefeated, so all 3 of them lost after going 2-0 following their bye week. So gonna hopefully swing back around to go to get on the right track for them through the Galacrones this week. But this is a really, really good match, and I'm 2 teams fight for playoff spots in the next couple of weeks.
I think it's worth stating in this game. Sanguine, you talked about her early, but like when I have glanced past her game scores, not only is she winning, but she's denying the other team points, which at this point in the season is just as significant as winning. Denying other teams points so late in the season when those playoff races come down to it, you can push yourself up to that 1 or 2 seed. And she's definitely held her own in terms of points.
Yes, absolutely. I agree 100%. I mean, I was one of the people that suffered a sweep against her, so I know the power of Sanguine. I also want to just shout out Basedink here. She has been just crushing it with her Pro Series breakdowns. I know that's not Legacy, but I just want to shout out other content creators here at THL, especially one that's just starting out. I think just 2 weeks of the Pro breakdown, but really good stuff. Anyone else have any thoughts on this? I was completely wrong. I predicted the Galacrones to win 3-2. It went the other way, and I'm pretty sure I only got the 5 seed right. So not great.
The only thing I have here that's a little surprising is Snake at 1 and 3. I mean he's playing against great players, and the win Basedink. I mean, I don't want to say it's a surprise because she does play in Pro and is very good at it. It's just I would expect Snake to be a little bit maybe he probably will step it up later in the season. That's just a little bit of surprise to me. The good news is Asadude is still in a pretty decent.
Yeah, I think both of these teams are still in a good spot here to push for the playoffs. So I definitely am excited to see what they do in the next coming weeks. Any other thoughts on this match? Anybody else? Cool. All right. So the final match of the Gold Conference from last week that we're going to discuss today is Always Top Deck Lethal versus the Misfits. Who's taking this? Desharmo, is this you?
Yeah, I'll take it. Another tough loss for the Misfits here. Very close against a team I would say that they probably had a pretty a good chance of beating. This was a strong showing, I would say, for their PR. They have the lowest PR combined in all of Legacy at 1,159. So they still have 600 PR left. They could throw in a 550 player and still have more PR left over. It's going to be difficult for them. A lot of these players on the Misfits are in difficult positions. Normally you don't see a 200 PR player playing in the 3, and you definitely don't see it playing in the 2. So it's very difficult. And all these players, I congratulate them for giving it their all every week and putting up the points here. If the Misfits are going to want to really try for playoffs, I think they're probably going to have to win the rest of their matches just to get in there. And ATL picking up a win, a much needed win. They also did not have a win. They did have a tie, and they're in a pretty decent position as well. They're at 51 points, 4 points behind fourth place. But like you said, it's a little bit under evaluated because the Wet Woman have not have played one less match, and all these teams have played 4 matches. So they're still in a decent position. They can still make playoffs as long as they keep performing. So I think ATL has to be a little bit concerned here because they were playing against a team that, again, PR is low. They should have gotten a lot of points off of this team, and they need to really kind of put their nose to the grinder if they really want to make a push for playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. This was Dano's prediction last week, so I do just want to mention he was fairly accurate. I think actually, yeah, he got 2 of them wrong, but he had his turd upset of the week as Craig over Top Deck. Did not get that this time, but yeah, it was a good effort there. Any other thoughts on this match, Corbin or Ron?
I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed with Quaz's sweep in the 5. I've been on Shinsui's teams before. I've played with Shinsui a lot, and he is almost unfair to have as the 5 seed as a sub there. I would in most weeks count on getting a win there, but Quaz showing up and really doing pretty impressively well. So I'm interested to see if he can keep it going.
Yeah, and he's not at 50 PR anymore. He's going to be pushing 100 here pretty soon if he keeps doing what he's doing.
Yeah, look at that 62. Oh man, he's climbing.
Plus 22, right? So. So that does that include? I think that actually includes the 50, right? Yes.
Real quick, I want to shout out Craig Canada. You've kind of trial by fire in your first season in THL, your first full season in THL. Keep your head up, keep battling, keep working on your game. It'll come together. Don't get discouraged. You're doing great. Just quick little words of encouragement there.
Yeah. You're in the 2 seed. This is at a 267 PR is very difficult to win in the 2 seed.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe next season if you find a team you're stuck in the 4 and 5 seed, your performance in the 2 seed is really gonna boost you up there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's certainly gonna be good practice for you, whether you stay in the 2 seed in the future or not. It's definitely playing against really good players. It helps you learn as well. So hopefully you're learning something and enjoying yourself. Great. Any last thoughts before we jump into the Red Conference from last week? Cool. All right. So the first match of the Red Conference from last week is Hot Zilfs versus By. Corbin, take it away.
So yeah, Bai kind of took their name literally last week. They had 2v2. And so Agent PWE or Arkham Cookie didn't get to play. So those were both 3-0s for Hot Zilfs. So looking at the 3 matches that we did have, Coles beat Noah Glocko 3-0. Donde just barely lost to Disco 2-3. And Full got swept by Snake Fods 3-0. So overall, the people that did show up for Bai did a relatively positive job. One thing I did think was super interesting about this particular matchup was Hot Zilfs 4 Warriors in their lineup. So they were kind of rolling with the week 3 meta. And there was only one rogue ban across all these matchups. So interesting kind of where these players are heads at, and I'd like to talk to them to see, what's your band strategy going into these matchups. So definitely different from what I'm used to seeing.
Yeah, no, absolutely, definitely a interesting match. You don't like to see the DQs, but it happens. I think these are two really high-powered teams, so it's a little upsetting that we didn't get to see them, play outright. But uh, still, Bai I think
Yeah.
is still in it for the playoff race despite that, and Hot Self's in a really really commanding position
Yeah.
for the Red Conference at the moment.
And Turd's upset was that Jim beat Arkham, so I know it was a DQ, but it kind of, sort of
It
happened.
sort of counts, yeah. So we got one out of the three upsets from last week right, even though the one we got right is sort of, kind of not right, but also right. So we're gonna take it. We have had pretty good success with turd upsets before. Maybe not this week though.
And also point out 2 4-0s on Hot Zills. That's very impressive.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
impressive.
1-2 punch there with the Coles, Rebobson.
And the Donde into 3-1. So they're 1-2-3. Yeah, they're just
Yeah.
rolling.
Yep. No, those are the ones that they're trying to win, and then they have hopefully a couple wins in the bottom two for sure with the way their PR is situated. But definitely really good teams on both sides. Any other thoughts here, Ron, DeSharmo?
Just pretty rough to see a couple of DQ losses. They might have made it a real game there if those players had been available. But sometimes that happens, and you just shake it off and you try to get back on track. Um, I know for one thing, No Glocko specifically, that is an incredibly good player. I've run into him in a few qualifiers here and there, and he plays really, really well. So with him in the 1 seed and the rest of the team taking the lead, especially with Disco having the season that he's having, I think this is still a team that has a lot of game and can really make a playoff push regardless of a setback here or there.
Yeah. No, I like that. I think they're definitely have a good shot here. They have a lot of really good players, and just gotta play your games. But yeah, let's if we don't have any more thoughts, let's jump to match 2 of the Red Conference from last week. It is Good Luck Albatrosses versus Toxic Reinforcements. Ron, let's hear from you.
All right. So this one here, honestly, just kind of felt pretty straightforward to me. I know Toxic Reinforcements looks like a pretty good team, but Good Luck Albatrosses is absolutely ridiculous with Lotus at the 1, Catman at the 2, Desharmo at the 3. I mean, I don't see. Also with Chewbacca pulling up the 5 seed, and from what I've heard, it's me Mike V keeps getting better every week. So that is a very scary team. I mean, 4-0, 76 points, just completely dominating. And I feel like they have to be one of the odds on favorites for a championship. I think Toxic Reinforcements is a good team, and I think they can also make a playoff push, but they just they ran into a brick wall this week with a team that I'm still waiting to see. Are they going to lose? Is Desharmo going to lose at any point? This team's killing it. So I'm excited to see how they do next week.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think both of these teams are really, really strong. Toxic Reinforcements is another one of the teams that's had a bye and is still kind of pushing that, playoff, situation. Even though they've lost one, they got 9 points this week, and so they're still kind of fighting for playoff spot. But they've played one less match than the people above them, so it's sort of the same situation as Wet Woman in the Gold Conference. One other note is for the Red Conference, it does seem to be very skewed in the numbers. Like we have Good Luck Albatrosses and Hot Zilfs just at the top, and then a couple in the middle with Toxic Reinforcements and Bai, and then like the rest kind of just somewhere below that and trying to fight for that 4th spot. So yeah, just a really really interesting dynamic that we're looking at for Red this season. But yeah, any other thoughts on this match, everybody?
No.
Cool.
Pretty good. I'm happy with my team's performance.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope so. You guys are 4-0. If you're unhappy at 4-0 and you're at 4-0 and your team's at 4-0, I think there might be a problem. But
yeah,
Yeah,
That's
great.
like
great
Bill
comments.
Belichick levels of happiness. There is
Yeah.
like, yeah, okay, we got all these championships, we keep winning, but we can do better.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
we can.
everyone can always do better. That's what this is about: improving, having fun. But yeah, so let's jump into match 3 then of the Red Conference: Dirty Mike and the boys versus Team Anoyo Team. Desharmo, let's hear from you. I know you're a big Anoyo Team supporter. Dano's not here
Yes.
to say his piece this week, but I'd love to hear from you about what you thought.
Yeah, I love Anoya team, former DHL members, all of these guys, except maybe the 5 seed. They really picked up a huge win, Team Anoyo, this week. A huge win.
Huge, and you're not just embellishing this time. This is a huge
No.
win.
Yeah, it is very huge. And they a strong win over one of THL's longest running teams in Dirty Mike and the Boys. And Dirty Mike and the Boys struggling a little bit here. 0-3-1, and they're really going to have to really get some points. They're behind Team Anoyo, and Team Anoyo is them. So they really have to push for their matches here. One thing I'd like to point out here is Zethon's sweep in the 4. Lefty is probably on the Bill Corbin status of WTF 4 seed. Why is he there? And Zethon showed, hey, I don't care if you're a 1 seed and hero, I'm still gonna sweep you. So great showing from Zethon, who's now 2-1, and Dano picking up his first win, 3-1 of the season, former MVP of last season. I think Dano was talking to me in the Discord, and he was saying like he needed to really step up. His team really needed to crack his whip, and Team Anoyo team performed. So great job on them, and I'm hoping to see them make a push for the playoffs.
Yeah, and I think they're definitely starting to turn things around here. We were talking last week about Team Anoya team kind of struggling at the beginning of the season, coming out of their bye, but they had a really great showing last season after people kind of doubted them, and now they're doing their thing and turning things around. Any thoughts from you, Corbin or Ron?
I just got to say, Brushy Tuna finally getting his first win in Legacy. It's I gotta say I'm a little surprised. I just figured he was gonna go completely winless throughout the whole season in Legacy. So what can you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just want to point out this is a Cal lineup without Priest. I didn't know that was a thing. I like Cal
Oh,
as
yeah.
a Priest
Oh,
only player.
what?
That's right.
That's
So,
wacky.
I'm disappointed. If Cal's out there, I'm gonna need about 80% more Priest.
At least 80%.
At least.
Yeah. I also want to say one more thing I forgot to mention. Team Anoyo still has some work to do. They are still way behind in points and really need to catch up.
This is a good start. 18 points in 1 week is not anything to scoff at. I mean, they nearly doubled their points, or more than they nearly doubled their points with the win. Actually, I think with the bonus, they more than doubled their points. So if they can keep doing this, they're on the right track.
Yeah, they were at 18 points last week, so they got the same amount of points just in matches this week.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. But yeah, so on to a final match from last week of the Red Conference. It is DeStubbs versus Not Yellow Jackets. Currently, I think the two, or actually no, the Dirty Mike, the Boys, and Team Anoya team are a little bit below DeStubbs. But again, another match where I was completely off with my predictions. I thought I was doing pretty well with the predictions last season, but this season, my predictive prowess is just a little rusty. But that's okay. I did get the winner right this time. I predicted the Stubbs to win, and they did. I'm not entirely sure what happened in the 4 seed. I don't know if you can elaborate for that, or a little bit for us. Deshaun, was that just a DQ?
Well,
Like both players?
it's a sort of I don't want to really share too much, but
Mhm.
both players sort of agreed to a no contest here, so let's just go with that.
Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering because I haven't seen too much of that. We do see DQs sometimes where one player does get the win, but
It's a
no
unique
points for.
situation, but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, absolutely. I don't want to dwell on that or read into it too much, but I do want to just say that it is interesting. Both players or both teams kind of losing out on a couple points there by just not being able to play that match. But anyway, um, they actually were tied in matches this week with both teams winning 2 of the 4 matches that were played, and they were all very not close. The 2 on to sub sides were sweeps, so that gave them the win over the other side where not Yellow Jackets. Their wins were 3-1s.
I think the 5 seed was a DQ.
Okay. So yeah, 5 seed might have been a DQ as well. So yeah, so Destubs actually only winning one of the matches they played this week, but managing to come out with the victory here. Um, a little unfortunate, but still, 2 teams that have a lot of potential in my eyes. Destubs 3 seasons ago. I brought this up a bunch of times, but 3 seasons ago I think it was 3 seasons ago they won, and they haven't changed too much. A couple of different players, but not players that I think are a downgrade by just kind of need to right the ship. I know Nate's a really good player and just has to kind of figure things out this season. Same thing with the Chronic. So, they're going to have to do that sooner rather than later at this rate because it is coming into week 5 and they are, struggling a little bit. But a win, regardless of how you get it, is probably the beginning for them. And then the not Yellow Jackets, they're only played 3 matches, so they're 1 match behind some of the other teams that are above them. So not too far back, but still going to have to fight for the playoff spots if they want to get it. They had a really insane week 1, if I remember correctly, and then kind of just slow down since then. But I think they have the potential, and we'll see if they're able to make things happen. They do have one of the lowest PRs, I think, total team wise. I know you mentioned that. I think it was the Misfits was the lowest. Is this the second lowest? Do you know by any chance,
Yeah,
Sharma?
they're pretty low in there.
Yeah. So still having some good success with that. So can't be too upset. But both of these teams going to be looking to hopefully get a
Yeah,
win this week.
they're at 14-32, so not too bad actually. They're pretty close to ATL. Actually, now they picked up a 470 player this week, so they kind of bumped up their PR.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Anyone else have thoughts on this match before we jump into our next segment? All right, great. So now, back by popular demand, we have tiers. I know Dano and Matt are doing those on their show THL, POW or the Power Rankings podcast that goes up on Monday or they record it Monday or Tuesday. Usually goes up the next morning. So I know everyone's been enjoying that, but I just wanted to highlight that again and show you guys the tiers and then throw it to the hosts here and see if anyone disagrees with the tiers that they've come up with. Actually, the community has come up with because they do ask for a poll every week. But I'd like to hear sort of if anyone has any disagreements. Teams they think are underrated, overrated. Let's hear from Desharma first if you have any.
Well, first I want to shout out the THL POW podcast. If you have not heard that, you definitely should hear it. It's a 20-minute listen. It won't take much of your time, and it's a great listen. Dano and Mad at Arms do a ton of work, and they're super prepared in their podcast. So I really recommend you go ahead and check it out if you haven't checked it out yet. In terms of I get some feedback here. I don't know if you guys hear it.
I'm hearing it a little bit, but
Yeah, I can hear a little bit too.
Yeah, somebody's mic there. I think it might be yours, Corbin. You might have to mute your mic, buddy. There you go. Thanks, buddy. So it was throwing me off. It's like one of those things where like you ever talking to a microphone and like you hear yourself talking and it's like a little delayed and it throws you off. Yeah, it's kind of like one of those things.
Yeah. No, I have been there. Mad at Arms. 20 minutes unless hat is on, and then it's an hour.
Oh. But I'm sorry, getting off track here, guys. My fault. No, I think these are pretty fair assessments of all the teams. I think they kind of fit where they fit in the PR. Um, yeah, I don't really have anything in here that is really glaring wrong in here. You're muted, Matadon. I mean, Myadon. So
Oh, I did that backwards. My bad. So yeah. Does anyone else have anything that they think would maybe they would change here, or do you guys ready to move on?
Well, I'd like to start just by saying I have zero complaints about my team, Fourth and Inches, being golden legendary. You know, pretty happy about being up there at the top. But I do have to say that it strikes me as strange that Dad Legend is golden epic, and I know golden epic is really good. But I feel like they should be minimum legendary. I mean, that's an undefeated team, and when they came up against my team, Fourth and Inches, we got kind of wrecked. We lost 17-10. So Dad Legend feels like a really big contender in the Gold Conference, and I would like to see them move up in the power rankings. I mean, based on their performance, it feels like it should fit. As far as the rest of the actual power rankings, it does look really good across the board. I feel like these teams really fit into the spots pretty appropriate.
well, actually, now that I think about it, I think I'd like pod people to move up a couple. I think they're in pretty good. They're like fifth place. Maybe an epic or golden. What is it? Rare.
Golden rare, yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely could see all of those, and I appreciate you appreciating us, Ron. You know, we're trying. We haven't lost yet, but we are
I
getting
mean,
a lot of
2-0
ties.
in 2 is a strange
Very strange.
score for the most part, but still, you know, the points are there, the wins are there. Maybe, well, you guys keep it rolling and it won't be a problem probably for much longer.
Yeah, let's hope. Corbin, you have any thoughts here? Anyone that you'd want to change? These teams you think maybe should move up or down?
I mean, just outside of us, I think we're way too low. We've played the toughest strength of schedule, and it it doesn't show by the power rankings that we've played the toughest schedule and are sitting in epic.
I think that might be. I think part of that might be expectation based. You guys were ranked like I think the top team before the season to like basically sort of sweep and I guess people's expectations were not met. Even though you guys are still undefeated,
Yeah,
not 4-0, not sweeping people. So
I'll take the blame for the first tie. That was on me. And then I think the most recent tie was probably partially due to Zay being gone. He's really he was out in Arlington, had a really good time, but having him in the one is just insane. So hopefully with having him back, we'll be right back on track. But yeah, we'll talk about that in our predictions coming up soon. But first, let's jump into the commercial break. So I do want to hear, Sharma, why don't you do that this time? Let's hear you do
when
it
are
today.
you ever gonna do it?
I talked the whole show. I'm doing all the transitions, all these things. You want me to do the commercials?
No,
I'll
I'm
do the
good.
commercials, man.
I'm teasing you, man. All right, guys. Turd special here. I'm gonna try to do it from the cuff like Turd does. See what happens. Probably fail, but here we go. Team Hearth Legends. We're an organization. We enjoy Hearthstone. We love to play the game, and I'm sure you do as well. And our organization is, much needed. I'm messing up here. Much needed money to run some of our operations, like the website, even the Google Docs that we use to run all of the codes. And you should see some of those codes that Arhat has. They're ridiculous. For all the matches that we do, all that stuff is automated now, and it uses Google Docs, and all that stuff costs money. And none of us get paid, and we're looking for you to help us out so that we can kind of keep the lights on. If you're interested in doing so, you can sub to this channel right here, and you would get a lovely THL icon there next to your name, and our love as well, and what we definitely call you out, and we really appreciate anybody who supports the organization. So if you want to, you can donate to us right here, right above my head up here. Or if you just want to follow us, follow the heart button there and kind of stay tuned. If you are not part of our organization, you can check us out at teamheartlegends.com and follow us on Twitter at teamheartlegends underscore HS or THL, sorry, at THL underscore HS. And you can also find our Discord on our website. You can go ahead and just go and scroll down to the bottom and look down there. But thank you guys. We really do appreciate everybody who does support us, and we love all of you guys, and we love Hearthstone, and that's why we're here.
Absolutely. We do not get any money from this. All the money goes to supporting all of the other facets of THL. So it really does help us out. And then also, if you miss any of our shows, we have shows almost every single day, I think, except for Monday right now. They are all put up on the YouTube by Saku, I think, does all of that. So if you miss it, you can listen to it while going to work or something. You don't have to watch us. It is nice maybe to see what we're talking about. We do care about our graphics and making sure everyone is covered here. But it still translates to sort of a podcast format. If you are driving, you can listen to it or watch it. Just drive safe out there. But yeah, that's it for our commercial. Let us jump into the week 4 preview. Actually, before we jump into the week 4 preview, I just want to shout out the 2 teams that aren't playing this week, the Pod People and Hot Zilfs. They are on bye. In the future, we're going to have some audio tied to the buys, but have a nice rest week, you 2 teams. So let's jump into week 4 for the first match of the Gold Conference. We have 4th and Inches versus Serenite Pain Gang. DeSharmo, let's hear your predictions.
Well, this is I think even though Serenite Pain Game's here is 1 and 2, I think this is going to be a very interesting match. There's some very interesting games here, and Serenite Pain Game might surprise 4th and Inches. I'm sorry, Ron. There's some matches here that could go their way, and I'm interested to see how they go. Itachi and Avi in the 1 is one of them. I could see Super Marlock and Darkseid 3-0. Super Murloc may be changing that. Every time I go against Super Murloc, he always proves me wrong. So I don't know. And then Rage and Black Magic, both very close PR. I know Black Magic is a very strong player and could show Rage some defeat there. So I'm interested to see how Serenite Pain Game plays this week. However, I would say that their window for winning is very small. I would say those 3 for me are the ones that they could win, but I'm gonna have to give it 4th and Inches 4 and 1. I'll give Tachi and Ron Mexico in the 1 and 2. I'll also give Mumpked in the 3. I'm gonna go against Super Marlock again to see if I'm right this week.
You nailed the pronunciation of that, but
oh, I did. Nice.
Totally did. No, I'm being sarcastic. That was an interesting way to read that, but I appreciate the attempt. Ron, would you fill us in on how to say that?
Your mom kid is
your mom
his
kid.
name.
There you go.
Almost there.
I corrected you last week. I was rewatching the show because I was trying to get our predictions in here, and I corrected you last week. So learn something, DeSharmo. Okay.
I'm gonna say it like that every week.
I hope so.
Just to piss you off.
I'm looking forward to it.
Running feature.
All right, continue. So Itachi, Ron, your Mumked, and
I'm gonna give it to Darkseid in the 4. I think Darkseid, whatever you want to say it, gets another win. He goes 4-0, and then Rage in the 5. So 4 and 1, 4th and Inches.
Awesome. Any other thoughts before I throw it to comments from the other hosts, DeSharmo?
Nope.
Cool. All right. So anyone disagree, agree wholeheartedly, or all of the above?
Oh, I just got to take a page out of the bias caster playbook here for my team and go 5-0. 5-0, 4th and Inches.
We call that a DeSharmo.
Yeah, that's a DeSharmo tradition right there. That's pulling a DeSharmo. You did it on his match, so very much appreciated. And you're already catching on. You're a natural here on Tavern Talk. Corbin, let's hear from you. You got something?
It's worth pointing out, Avi has, since he got back from Arlington, he has been grinding Hearthstone. He hit Legend today, came in at 83. So this is a warm Avi. This isn't the the kind of cold Avi we've had the last couple weeks. I'm guessing he's going to take this one. No offense to my guy Itachi, but Avi's Avi's got a chip on his shoulder again, and I'm not sure anybody can beat Avi when he's got a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that's the highlight match for me of this matchup is Itachi versus Avi. I'm really excited to see that. And also something I want to mention is there are a lot of mages in this matchup, so we'll see. Maybe that the meta is shifting once again, and we'll see if Mage is able to get some wins. We did see at the very beginning of the show, if you guys were here, Mage had, I think, the worst win rate of all of the classes through the past 4 weeks. So we'll see if a couple new cards can change that.
I just think people don't know how to play Mage, to be honest.
It's also very possible, but we're gonna see if I mean, it's gonna have to win here at some point. There's a couple of Mage mirrors across the board, so we'll see how it does. I'm excited. Ron, do you have any thoughts? This is your match. You did mention 5-0, but anything about the classes or anything you want to mention before we jump to the next match?
I'm also very interested to see how Mage performs because it's really making a comeback, especially in the matchups between these two teams here. And I agree with DeSharmo. I think Mage is just a lot more skill testing right now than a lot of the other decks. So it's a lot harder to play, generally it seems to just be Highlander Mage, although it's possible, like a Cyclone Mage or something could get thrown in there. But it's a lot harder to play optimally than something like, say, Embiggen Druid, which is pretty straightforward.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes a lot of sense, and hopefully we'll see some good results with it. I love Mage, so I'm excited to see it potentially come back here. But yeah, let's jump to match 2 then. Dad Legend versus the Galacronies. Corbin, why don't you handle this one?
Yeah, so I have a little bit of a personal investment in this game,
What?
in this match, but I do believe in my squad. Zabe is arguably the best player in THL right now, and so I think he takes it over Base Inc. 3-1. My Anodon is obviously a really good player. Tilts easily. But I think like he should get the upper hand in 2-star Mako 3-2. And of course, I got to go with Captain Yellow Dart just to tell booze. Captain Yellow Dart's got the Paladin, which I think is super interesting this week to see what he does with that. And he also brought Priest. And I don't really see anything from Booze that can really counter the Priest of Yellow Dart. So maybe he's looking to ban it. I'm not sure. But Priest really gives Druid fits, and it gives Warlock fits too.
Yeah.
And then this Bill Snyder guy, he's probably going to lose to Sage. I wouldn't worry too much about that. And Turd Ghost, that Turd will make it close. Turd has improved every week, and we keep working with him. He just keeps getting better and better and better. And he's going to surprise somebody, but I do think Ghost probably takes this 3-1.
I'm going to button here. I know it's not my match, but I'm going to call Turd upset. Base Inc. takes out Honest Sabe. 3-2.
Wow. All right, you heard it here first. Let's see. Let me put it into the sheet so everyone knows. So when you get it wrong, we can laugh at you next week.
That's exactly. You could play the toilet on my.
Yeah.
on my
Oh,
Turd
yeah.
upset.
That's for people that missed last week. That's one of our sounds. So we've got it's a flush sound. So everybody, just make a flush sound real quick. Ready? Go. Well, I just wanted to see who would do that. That's great. Thanks, guys. Sorry. So Corbin, just go back. I think did you skip your match? Or you not
No,
making
I got Sage in that one.
Okay, you got Sage a 3-2 overall for us then.
Yep.
All right, just making sure we got that recorded, and then just confirming again, you have Based taking the win over Zabe DeSharma for your turd upset, right?
Yes.
Boom. All right, awesome. Anyone? I guess you already mentioned your thing, DeSharmo, unless you have anything else to add about this match.
Nope.
Okay, great. Ron, what do you think? Anything you disagree with or agree with, or just want to say something?
I think I mostly agree that Dad Legend is probably going to take this one. I gotta always pick my boy Sage in every matchup. Sorry, Corbin, but I think this is the one that you wind up getting your first loss because Sage is on a tear right now across all series. But other than that, I kind of feel like Dad Legend is winning across the board. Possibly Turd loses to Ghost because that's a pretty big PR difference. But I think the 1, 2, and 3 go to Dad Legend.
Nice. No, I mean, I'll take it. I think we sweep for sure, but it's gonna be a good match. These are a lot of my close friends in THL, so I'm excited to play against them and beat them. So that'll be good.
You had to
Booze
throw
is
that in there.
actually Booze is my captain for pro. So I that's a tough match for me to call, but I do want the win. So Yeldar's going to take that one for sure. And then Mako and I are go back as well. But good luck, buddy. You can win a different series this week, not against me though. Anyway, any last thoughts here before we jump to the next match of the Gold Conference? Cool. All right. So match 3 of the Gold Conference is Asa Dude versus the Misfits. Ron, what do you think about this match?
So I think it's pretty interesting looking at the lineup for Dude. It is basically almost completely uniform with Druid, Hunter, Rogue, Warlock across the board. Exception being their 5 seed Medusas, who must be on the mage hype train along with some of the rest of us, and is bringing that instead of Druid. I feel like that's just going to pay off for them pretty well with a strong week against the Misfits, who have been struggling pretty much all season. I do have a bit of an upset pick of my own here, though, with the Big Ted taking the 1 over Snake. I think Snake is having a hard time kind of stabilizing here, and the Big Ted has been having an incredible hero series, and this could be the one where he gets a big win for his team. But unfortunately, I feel like the rest of the way is going to go for a Dude. Sanguine's on a tear. She's going to win the 2 against the Town Drunk, which should be a good matchup, but I can't pick against her right now. Icon, as much as I'd like to go with the typical tavern talk curse and say Icon loses so that he wins.
So you do watch the show.
Occasionally here and there, yeah. But I feel like this is going to be a win for Icon. Shiny Pants over Mr. Incredible. Shiny is on my hero team, and he's a very good player. And just this Druid, Hunter, Rogue, Warlock lineup, it looks like the team's really kind of in line. They've got a strategy down. They know what they're doing. The Misfits is a little bit less organized, and I feel like that's going to show in this matchup. And the last one here, Quaz is 2-1, and he's on the rise. But actually, Medusa's also on my hero team in hero, and he's also playing pretty well. I think he starts off with the turnaround here and gets to 2 and 3 with a win in the 5. So 4-1 Asadu.
All right, I like that prediction. Anyone disagree or have any thoughts on this matchup? Desharma, you have anything?
I'm gonna go 5-0 Asadud on this one.
Woo! All right. I like it. How about you, Corbin?
Yeah, I think both these guys kind of echo my thoughts. It's so hard for the Misfits right now with the PR deficiency to really compete, particularly in those top 2 seeds. So I think Asada kind of has an easy week this week.
Yeah, and they're bringing something that Diamond mentioned here. Of course, our op here most weeks doing a great job tonight. But he did mention that they're bringing in a lot of the similar sort of lineup, the major one, the Druid, Hunter, Rogue, Warlock that we saw at Arlington here. So feeling pretty comfortable with that. I think that was actually the most popular lineup last week that did well as well. But we'll see if it continues to do that with all the majors kind of popping up. We'll see if they have a good answer here. And we did see again in Arlington, mages have some pretty good success in situations where people thought it wasn't going to do as well. So curious to see how that plays out next week, and we'll address that in our hat stats next week. Anyone else have any thoughts here on the match before I jump to the final match of the Gold Conference? Cool. All right, so this one's on me. It is match 4 of the Gold Conference. Is Wet Woman versus Always Top Deck Lethal. Wet Women are probably my favorite team. That's not my team in the Gold Conference right now. I think they have a lot of good potential, and like I said before, they've just been racking up points after their bye week to start. And yeah, so always Top Deck Lethal starting to make a comeback. These are actually both of the teams that we happen to tie, so we'll see. Maybe they can tie each other, and it's just gonna do that whole trifecta. But my prediction for this one is actually a 3-2 to the Women. It's going to be Ox in the 1, Dragon Rider in the 2, Brick in the 3, Maddie in the 4, and Shun Sui in the 5. Those are my predictions. But I do think this is going to be a close one. I think Pond and Liquid Ox is going to be a good match. Pond / Free Hong Kong. He was on my team last season, and I played with him quite a bunch. He's a really good player. And then Force of Will, Matty Abs. That one looks pretty spicy. Brick and JR. I mean, all these matches I think could go either way, but I do lean the Wet Woman 3-2 in the end here. Any thoughts from you?
Yeah, I think you well said. I'm interested to see how this Paladin works out. I know on ladder I've been facing a lot of Mech Paladin. It's pretty good. The only problem with Mech Paladin is once it gets behind, if they're not pushing lethal or really close to bashing your face in, it's really hard to turn the tables. So I'm interested to see how it functions here versus its other decks.
It's a lot like Token Druid, from the standpoint of as long as you're ahead on board and you can continue to kind of snowball your advantage. It's a great deck to have at your disposal, but as our leader Ridiculous Hat can attest to, the highs and the lows of Token Druid, I'm sure he would say something similar about Mech Paladin, as if you don't have a board advantage, it can snowball out of control the other way. So
Yeah.
I do agree. It'll be fascinating to watch and see what that deck does for Wet Woman.
Well, the one thing that I Mech Paladin does for your mic again, sorry. One thing that Mech Paladin does that Token Druid doesn't do is it can have an extremely fast start. You can go turn 3 and already have your opponent down to like 16, 15 even sometimes, just by sheer numbers. So that's one thing it does have going for it. But what it doesn't have compared to Token Druid is Token Druid has that refill on turn 8. You can just keep making treants and they have to keep dealing with it. Paladin, on the other hand, once they're done, that's it. There's nothing else left in the tank.
Yeah, I think it does seem very similar to sort of the Mech Hunter that used to exist and sort of still exists now, in the way that it just kind of builds mechs, and if you leave one mech up, it has the threat of charging 5 damage at you, more damage, and it sort of wins like that. So, but obviously there's still other Paladin archetypes that can be used. So I think just mech rising up has opened up Paladin as kind of a more viable bring in this format where it's closed deck list, so you have more flexibility. You're not kind of forcing yourself into one archetype with the Paladin bring anymore, which kind of felt that way a little bit earlier in the season. It wasn't quite as popular or quite as strong, the Mech Paladin. But yeah, any thoughts, Ron, on this one? I know you didn't speak anything, or you didn't say anything about
this
match
one,
just yet.
yeah, this looks like a very interesting match here. I'm surprised to see how many Paladins are being brought by Wet Woman, and this is going to be a really entertaining one. Hopefully, I don't know if there's any that are going to be on stream from this. Do you guys know?
We do know. Are there any of these on stream? I do not. Yes, Quirky Turtle is facing Shun Sui Salty Saturday at 9 p.m.
Oh, that's right. I thought she said something about being on stream. So yeah, I'm really excited to tune into that. Especially Shunsui and Quirky Turtle are two of my favorite people in THL. That's going to be an exciting match to watch.
And actually, Dragon Rider against Top Deck is also happening on Salty Saturday at 8.
Oh, that's awesome.
So two back to
Saturday
back.
hype.
Yeah. And then
yeah, I think this could go either way, though.
I think also Matty Ebbs, right? I think that match is on Friday.
Yeah, actually,
Matty Ebbs against Force Will. So 3 out of 5 of these matches are going to be on
Yeah, I
stream,
missed those
so
two.
check it out. It's going to be great.
That's awesome. What a treat.
But yeah. Any last thoughts here before we jump to the Red Conference then? Cool. All right. So first match of is Good Luck Albatrosses versus Not Yellow Jackets. Corbin, let's hear from you.
All right. So first of all, I'm very happy to get this match because I think Not YJ's is going to become my second favorite team in the whole series. Just because I'm really interested to see what some of these new players have to offer. Slay at 478 PR seems to be holding his own against people who are much higher PR than he is. Enzi, from what I've heard, is a well established collegiate player. Women's is 2-0 in the three, so he's kind of paving the way early. Kid Eternity, we know about his reputation, and Silver T Fox Demon is more than capable of holding his own on the 5 seed. Now, with all that being said, it's unfortunate that they have to run into the absolute freight train that is Good Luck Albatrosses this week. Lotus Knight takes it in the 1. Catman probably takes it in the 2. DeSharmo, I think you are better attest to this 3 seed match than I would be, so I'll get your thoughts on that. And then Kid Eternity probably pulls it out in the 4, and Chewbacca pulls it out in the 5. So I'm not going to quite go with a clean sweep for Good Luck Albatrosses, but they take 4 out of the 5 matches. The other thing I kind of wanted to ask you about, Lemons with the Shaman as well as Slay. I think those are super interesting decisions because Shaman has kind of been nerfed into the ground, but where it does line up really, really well is in that 3 seed. Deshaun, when you brought Priest, I'd be a little nervous about that Shaman going into my Priest.
I'm not. So I'm just gonna not give away any of my strategies. So yeah.
But I definitely do think Good Luck Albatross is definitely.
Am I unmuted again or
Yeah,
something?
yeah, no, I mean, it definitely is. I think this is going to be a challenge for Not Yellow Jackets for sure. Good Luck Albatrosses, like you were saying, 4-0. But I think maybe they have a couple of shots here, and we'll see if they have it in them. I do agree, though. I lean the Albatrosses here as much as it pains me. Rooting for
It's just
Deshaun.
because I'm on the team.
Yeah. Oh, you know why it is. It's part of our banter. It's great.
No, you
but
just don't like me. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's definitely what it is. That's why I've had you on my show for 2 seasons now, totally because I dislike you. But yeah, no, we mentioned earlier their team with a little bit lower PR than some of the others. Although with NZ joining, they might be a little bit more lined up in the 1 and the 2 there, and then even the 3. So I think they're starting to figure things out, and this might not be the week, but definitely could see them making a push. It's just unfortunate that they've sort of started to figure things out here, and then run into one of the big bosses right as you do that. It's kind of like leveling up and feeling really strong, and then suddenly you're against the level 10 boss or something, and you're level 2. You just kind of like, oh, I just felt like I was getting strong, and now I ran into the wrong zone. So really, really interesting match. Any thoughts here from you, Ron?
Yeah, this looks kind of rough for Not YJ's. Good Luck Albatross is just such an incredibly good team right now that I'd be impressed if they could keep it close.
Yeah. All right. So if that's our last thoughts on that match, let's jump to match 2 of the Red Conference, Bye versus Just Rogue Things. Ron, take it away.
All right. So this one, actually, there have already been 2 games played, from what I understand. There was a win for Nebkanuk and Epical Noise. So a little bit easier to predict on this one. It looks like, Just Rogue Things has a pretty big lead. I think at like 8-3 over bye at the moment, but I'm pretty sure bye is going to make it close and make them sweat this out a little bit. I think No Glocko is going to take the 1 seed, and Agent PWE will take the 2 seed. But the early lead is just going to be too much to overcome. They'll come up just short. I think Dexter wins the 5 seed, and Just Rogue Things takes it down 3-2.
All right, yeah. Any thoughts from you, Desharma here?
No, I think Just Road Things got it really started really well, and I'm gonna find it hard for them to actually win, win for the rest of the. I'm sorry, guys. I'm really tired. So my mind is not working. I know what I want to say. I worked 11 and a half hours today, so I think Just Rogue Things are gonna win.
Nice.
There.
I like the prediction. They did start off pretty strong here. That's certainly the case, but I wouldn't count buyout just yet. But it is going to be an uphill battle. Corbin, do you have any thoughts on this one?
I really don't. I played Epical Noise a couple weeks ago in Pro, and he's definitely way better than a 252 4 seed. So to see him take an early win is completely unsurprising to me.
Cool, great. So anybody have any last thoughts before we jump into the third match? Is it? Yeah, the third match of the Red Conference here. Cool. All right. So third match of the Red Conference is going to be Toxic Reinforcement. Toxic Reinforcements versus Dirty Mike and the Boys. I think your sleepiness is also influencing me right now. But hopefully,
I'm sorry, guys. It's been a really long week, and
you're
I've
all
been working
good.
like 11-hour days, so I'm trying hard to stay awake. I probably should drink some coffee before I do the stream. So
You're all good. We're almost through it. You know, one more match after this one. So let's hear your thoughts here on this match.
well, I honestly, and unfortunately, I honestly think this is kind of a no-brainer. I think Toxic Reinforcement pretty much takes it 4-1, and I'm going to give the win to Dirty Mike and the Boys in the 5 seed. I think Lefty could win the 4 seed with F Srirachi 1 over him, but I think F Srirachi is going to win there, and I think the rest of them. I think Tris takes it in the 1, Icicles takes it in the 2, and I even think Carlton takes it in the 3. So I think Toxic Reinforcement rebounds this week and gets a strong win over Dirty Mike and the Boys.
Yeah, this is certainly the week they want to be doing that. But I think it's going to be pretty close. I think Icicles and Tris maybe swapped. Did they swap? I feel like they were the other way around last
Yeah, they
week.
were. They were.
So,
Icicles was 1 and Tris was 2, so they swapped now.
Yeah, so we'll see if that has any effect on this one. Although we do see their opponents, Tony and Surlos, a little bit lower in PR, but still really good players. So we'll see if they're able to kind of make things happen. But yeah, I know. I think I tend to agree overall with you. Anyone have conflicting thoughts, or just want to say something about this match? Corbin, let's hear from you first.
No, I pretty much reflected my thoughts on the deal. It's going to be really rough for Dirty Mike and the Boys. Tris is struggling this season, so would like to see him turn around.
Yeah,
I think he will here.
What about you? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I totally agree with Desharmo on this. This looks like a bounce back week for Toxic Reinforcements. They had to play against Good Luck Albatrosses last week. Anyone who faces them in a week seems like they're going to have a rough week. But after that, now they get to play a team that is having some struggles, picking up a win. I don't think this is the week for Dirty Mike and the Boys to get a win yet.
Great. Yeah. No, I think it's going to be tough. Never count anybody out, but certainly an uphill battle for them. And I also lean Toxic Reinforcements on this one. Great. So let's jump to our final match of the night, everybody. Thanks for sticking around with us. It has been a long go, but I hope you guys have been enjoying it. We did, like I said, want to cover everything. But if you have any notes for us in the future, just let us know. If there's something you don't like or do like, But anyway, let's jump into the final match of the Red Conference. It is Destubs versus Team Anoyo team. Dano's not here to talk about it, but I'm here. I'll talk about it. I mentioned these teams already, the Stubs earlier. I mentioned their legacy and what they've been doing, and Team Anoyo team as well. I mentioned sort of what they did last season and hoping for sort of a repeat or even a better season here. Both teams, though, not off to the best start. So this is the beginning or the continuation of their turnaround. We did see Team Anoyo team get a huge win last week, as DeSharma would say, and the Stubs, still getting some points, but gonna need to do something here if they want to, push for the playoffs. My predictions, though, I have Nulltown taking the one. I think Nate's a great player, but still hasn't really figured things out just yet this season. So we'll see if he can do it this week, but I think I lean Nulltown. And then I have Amaj in the 2, Dano in the 3, so I have them winning the top 3. Actually, a mage, yeah, sorry. A mage.
So you get
Dano.
to correct me.
No, you're absolutely right. That's
I'm
one
gonna correct
that
you on a mage.
You're absolutely right. That's one I've gotten right most of the time, but sometimes you
no, you just keep saying it wrong. I'll correct you, and then the other one I keep saying wrong, and you correct me, and there we go. We're good to go.
Yeah, that's perfect. It's a good bit. We'll say names wrong just for fun. And then Zethund in the 4 and Kura Finway, I think that's how you say it. I'm not sure. Does anyone know? 5 seed.
It's Zethund. I'm just kidding.
Zethund Dano. Nulltown. But yeah, so ultimately that's a 4-1 for Anoyo team. I think they're going to continue, pushing and getting a big win here. So, anyone else have alternate thoughts? Something else? You want to agree wholeheartedly with me? Think I'm amazing and just nailed that one?
I actually think it's really interesting that not only is it the PR across the board kind of lines up incredibly well in Anoyo team's favor, but almost all of them got Paladin, which is true to their team mascot. And I'll actually be pretty disappointed if I hear that there's any Team Anoyo team players playing Paladin and not using Sir Anoyo. So here's hoping they stick with the theme.
That would be pretty terrible if they did not use Anoyo.
It's just off brand. You got to be on brand if you're going to be on a Team Anoyo team. I mean, they're adding words every year too. They added team, I believe, in front of Anoyo team, or was that there last year? I don't know. But either way, or last season,
they're going to have to call it Team Anoyo team, formerly known as Team Anoyo, next season. So
it's just going to be a ton of it's just going to keep going. They're just going to add Anoyos, going to add teams all over. Every season they're going to add something. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to get really annoying to say, and I think that's very, very on brand. So genius. Corbin, you have any thoughts on this match?
So real quick, I might be putting my foot in my mouth here, but I think that Chronic was an all-star either last season or the season before. And he's 0-4 right now. So the RNG is generally going to roll back around. And I look for him to turn his season around. Maybe starting this week.
I'm going to have to hard disagree with that. Zithun beat Lefty last week, 3-0. So I'm going to say it's going to be very hard for Chronic to get a win this week. So I'm going to have to hard disagree with you on that one.
So you can put that on my turd upset of the week if you want.
Oh, yeah. You want a turd upset of the week? Yeah, you get one. You get one. Everybody can have one. I usually abstain, but unless I feel really passionately.
Watch.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, so Bill Snyders.
Yeah, I'm just finding it hard for any of the Stubs members other than the 5 really to get a win here. I mean, the top 3 just like you said, just line up so well in terms of PR. And I
really
just think,
does.
Yeah, it's just going to be really hard for them to win, I think.
It's not so much supposed to be a shot at Zethund as it is. I know that Chronic is a really, really good player. Looking across the line at class matchups, I would give the advantage to the Chronic as far as his classes match up better into Zethund than vice versa. So I'm seeing a class advantage for the Chronic and a guy who's probably hit a bad stretch of RNG that's due to come back around.
Well, also Zethund is the only one that didn't bring Paladin, so maybe that's the thematic punish, for stepping out of line with the rest of the team and not bringing Paladin. He winds up losing, and it's like, hey, you got to bring Paladin if you're on team. And
Yeah, he doesn't have the button or the hellos to be pressing while he plays. How are you gonna win without hello, hello, hello?
it's well said.
Yeah, there's I think it says for me that we're offline. That there's a network error or something.
Oh.
Maybe I'm wrong, but
All right. Well, that was our last matchup. So if everyone can hear us out there, we'll just try to close things out. I know we've been on a little bit long today. So hopefully you guys can hear this. I don't know how bad the lag is, but Diamond, if you can jump just to cams, we'll talk. I'll do the announcements and then we can close out for tonight. But yeah, so announcements. We have a couple of matches this weekend. We did hint at these earlier. We have for Friday Night Fights tomorrow. We have in the Red Conference of Legacy. We have Kura Finway versus the Final Refuge, which is in this match that we were just talking about, the Stubbs versus Team Anoyo team. So really good lead up to this, and then Legacy Gold. We have Matty Ebbs versus Force of Will. That is another match we were sort of talking about. That's the Wet Will Men versus Always Top Deck Lethal, I believe. And then we have for Salty Saturday 2 more matches from that match. We have Legacy Gold Dragon Rider versus Top Deck at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and then we have Quirky Turtle versus Chun Sui to follow that at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So that match could be determined by Saturday night if all 3 go one direction there. Not sure when the other 2 matches are being played, but we are getting 3 of them on stream, so that's awesome. And then Sunday, we have in the Legacy Red Conference, Zethund versus the Chronic. And that's from this match. This is the match we were just talking about, the Stubbs versus Team Anoyo team as well. And that's actually Corbin, Bill Snyder's turd upset of the week. So stay tuned for that, see if he's right or wrong on that one. And then finally, to finish things off, we have Yellow Dart versus the Big Ted for Hero Series at 9 p.m. on Sunday. Eastern Time for all the times I mentioned. So thanks everybody for joining us. I want to say thank you to our guests as well. It was a little last minute for some of them, so I really appreciate both of you guys coming on. It was a blast for me. I hope you guys had a good time. And
yeah, thanks so much for having us on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you.
And sorry about the lag, everybody. And the couple of hiccups we had this week, but we're gonna keep trying to refine and if you don't like segments, like I said earlier, or if you do like something, let us know. We want to hear back from you guys. We're trying tons of different things. We want to make sure you guys have good content. I know it went a little long today, but hopefully we'll be able to tighten things up in the future. And I think that's it from us. Anybody have any last remarks to say? Anything you guys want to plug, Corbin or Ron, as a thank you for coming on? Anything you guys are doing, or just want to say something to your teams or something?
Nope, go Dad Legend.
I just want to say, remember to listen to the short little ads. Support THL. This all each and every week more fun and have a better time, playing more Hearthstone. And, all that comes with some costs. So any support that you can give is absolutely something that if you have the means to do it, please do it. It makes all the rest of us just so much better off.
Absolutely, well said, and thank you very much. And one more thing, just something to look forward to in the future. Next time Ron's on, he promised he's going to have a cam, so we'll see. Currently doesn't have one, but maybe
that's not a cam
next time.
Oh man, I could have sworn that
stationary
Ron.
picture is not actually a
He's
picture
been
of
holding
me.
Oh man,
still.
Oh man, for all this time I thought you were Michael Vick with the mustache and the sombrero. Dang.
I know,
Oh,
it's actually
wow.
it's
And you had-
so disappointing
And
that
you
I'm
had a
little bit
microphone in front
afraid
of you too. You had a
even
microphone in front
have
of you.
a
So I was
cam at
thinking,
all.
Yeah.
But
Man.
yeah, give it a couple of months maybe. So don't have me on for a couple of months, and then I'll probably have a cam by then and do that whole deal.
No, I promised everybody that's watching